recording now. Now, don't leave your answer like this. You have to simplify it. Okay? So how do you simplify it? This one tests your indices. Okay, so x to the power of 32 plus 16 divided by 2, that gives me 8. X to the power of 30 divided by x to the power of 3. So means the powers will subtract. So you're going to x to the power of 27. Next one, 140 divided by 4. What are you going to get? 140 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 gives you 30, right? So 30 x to the power of 28 divided by x to the power of 6. Powers minus, you're going to get x to the power of 22. And the last one, what is the last one? Can you work it out yourself? 560 divided by 8 gives you 70. X to the power of what, Sherry? Look at here. What do you get? X to the power of what? Huh? Don't panic. Look here. X to the power of 26 divided by x to the power of 9. Same base, divide. What happens to the powers? So what's the answer? Give you all the time you need. 17? Is it 17?
Yes.
Okay. So it's 17. Alright? So you take a look at this question. This is in descending powers of x. That's all. Okay? You get about 3 or 4 marks just by doing this. You have to memorize the expansion of it. Okay? You have to memorize the expansion of it. Now, the next one. Part 2. Write down the general term in the binomial expansion. General term you have to memorize. Ladies and gentlemen, I repeat again, you have to memorize. There is no way out of it. The general term of the expansion of a plus b to the power of n, what is the general term? Is tr plus 1 is equals to n choose r, a, b, the a is n minus r, then r. This is the general term. Okay? So if they want you to write down the general term of this, that means they are asking you for what is the tr plus 1. So the tr plus 1 is going to be n. What is the n in this question? 16. 16 means how many times is this power being raised to? This is 16. 16r, you don't know what is r, so leave it as r. The first term here is x squared. Second term here is 1 over 2x cubed. Then what do I put on my powers here? Danielle, what do I put on my powers here? Here. N minus r, so it is what? 16 minus x squared. X squared your head as r. Right, you just take this minus this. Okay? Then what do I put here? I raise this to what power? Jordan, I raise this to what power? R. Correct. Okay? Now, after you do this, this is not done. Okay? You must simplify it. How do you simplify? Watch closely. Don't blink. 16r, I distribute the powers. X to the power of what? Janice. I multiply the powers. So what am I going to get? 32, good. Yes, okay. This one, I can distribute the powers in. I'm going to get 1 over 2r multiplied by 1 over x 3r. Anyone can understand? I mean, anyone who don't understand what I did over here?
Do we have to write like this?
There's a reason why I wrote like this. I'll show you later. Okay? Here, I just distribute the r to this. 1 over 2r, I distribute the r to this. Why I don't distribute to the 1? Because 1 raised to the power of anything, okay, it's just 1. Okay, so it doesn't really matter for that one. Okay? So I can split like that. Why I split like that? Is because, can you see I have a base x here, I have a base x here. Can you see that? So means I can actually combine these two. So let me rewrite it in one last step. So this is the same as 16 choose r, 1 over 2 to the power of r. What do I get if I want to combine this x into one single index? Rudra, can you help us out? If I combine this into one single index, what am I going to get? Good. 32 minus 5. Why is it minus? Because this is divide. Can you guys see that? is divide. So this is the simplified general term. You must leave it in the simplified form, ladies and gentlemen. You must group all the x terms together. Okay, you must group all the x terms together. Okay? Now, let's look at the next one. By considering the general term of the expansion, explain why there is no constant term. So I know that the general term TR plus 1 is actually 16 choose R, 1 over 2 to the power of R, x 32 minus 5R. Now I need you guys to understand, for there to be a constant, can there be a x?
No.
Okay, I repeat again. When I need it to be a constant, I cannot have a x. If I cannot have a x, what do you think this power must equals to? 0. So if I let 32 minus 5r equals to 0, what is r? What am I going to get? 32 over 5. 32 divided by 5 is 6 and 2 over r. Can my r be 6, 2 over r? No. What is r? R is basically going to be 1 less than the term that you are finding. Okay? Just like we learned this before in the... Do you learn, remember in your set 1 days, we learned the number patterns? Okay? The number of term. Right? The number of term must be a whole number, must be an integer. Okay? So same thing over here. Because R must be an integer. R must be an integer, therefore, there is no constant term. Okay? Can you please take note? Okay? There is no constant because R must be an integer. Okay, I will go a bit faster, just the last part because I think some of you got to go off already. Okay, so there is no constant because R must be an integer. Okay? Now, can you take a look at the next one? This one seems very confusing, but I assure you it is not confusing at all. Okay? They are saying that there is a constant term in the expansion of this multiplied by this funny term over here. And the constant term is a value of 1430. Now, we know that this one, any of the terms over here, the general term, okay, is going to be this, right? Is the 16, choose R. What else? 1, oops, please don't disappear. Okay, so this one over here is going to be 16, choose R, 1 over 2 to the power of R, x 32 minus 5R. Right, so we know that actually this term, any of the terms here, whether it's the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, okay, we don't care whatever term it is, okay, can be represented using this. Now let us think about it, and this one I need you guys to really try your best to understand. They are telling us that when this term multiplied by this, there is one of the terms that is going to be a constant. And that constant value is going to be a positive value 1430. Now, if I were to take this term, this whole thing, if I multiply by 1, is it possible for this to be a constant? No, we have already addressed it earlier, right? Because no matter what the value of R will be, I will never get a constant. Okay? Next, this number over here, is it going to be always positive or is it possible to have a negative number? Think, is it possible for me to get a negative number here? No, right? It's always positive, right? So if I take this multiplied by negative 16, am I going to get a positive number or negative number? Negative number, right? So I know that I definitely cannot multiply by here. Alright? So the only possibility is for me to take this and multiply by this number over here. Okay, those who have to go, please go. Okay, those I need to take this, multiply by this. Okay, so what I need to do now is I need to take. Okay, bye bye. 16 choose R. 16 choose R. 1 over 2R. X 32 minus 5R, I need to multiply by P x squared. Okay, and I know that when I multiply by here, the value of the constant is going to be equals to 1430. Do you guys understand this? Okay, because I know that this whole term is the same as this. Okay, but I cannot multiply by 1 because I multiply by 1, it will not give me a constant. I cannot multiply by this also because it gives me a negative number. Okay, so the only possibility is I take this and multiply by this, and this will give me the constant 1430. Okay, so let us try to simplify things. If I try to simplify this, okay, let's say I get 16 choose R, 1 over 2R, x 32 minus 5R, this is the same as P. What am I going to get over here? I have this divided by 2, x to the power of 2. So what is going to be my power over here? Okay, what is going to be power over here? Maureen, are you here? Yes, what do you think is going to be here? What is going to be my power? This is a times, this is a divide, same base. What do you think is going to happen to the power? So what's my answer? 30 minus 5R. Okay, so this is going to be 30 minus 5R. Don't forget the P. Okay, so I know this is going to be my 1430. Now, this is the part that a bit challenging. If I want this to be a constant, what do I want this number to be equals to? If I want this whole thing to be a constant, means I shouldn't have any x, right? So what should this be equals to? 0. Okay? So I'm going to have to take 30 minus 5R is equals to 0. So my R must be equals to 6. Okay? So if my R is equals to 6, I can substitute it back into my this thing over here. Okay? So I'm going to get 16 choose 6, P over 2 to the power of 6, x to the power of 0 is equal to 1430. If you do that, enter in the calculator, 16 choose 6, divide by 2 to the power of 6, I'm going to get 125 and 1 over 8. P is 1430. So what is the value of P? 1430 divided by the answer is 11, 3 over 7. Is that okay? This is actually not a very tough question. It is tough because you have never seen it before. But this question is repeated many times in the O-levels. Okay, it's repeated many times in the O-levels. The key thing to take note is that how are you going to compare the powers? Okay, how are you going to compare the powers? Alright? What I need you guys to do go home, redo the FA5, FA6. Make sure you can get this right. I will quickly go back and upload these two things. I will upload it to your Google Classroom. Okay, I'll upload to your Google Classroom. If you are stuck, rewatch it again. Do it and then submit to me next Monday. You please, you really have to do it because your exam is really on Tuesday itself already. Okay, there is no time to waste. Okay, I know a lot of you did very well for your E-math, but okay, your A-math is also equally important. Logarithms, this topic, and binomial theorem, quite a lot of things to remember. Okay, so it takes a little bit of effort. Okay, I am just going to